This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Just one day before former FBI Director James Comey sits down before Congress, we're learning some of what he's going to say. But this morning, now there's even more tension building in the White House. And targeted with racial insults, a local father says kids are picking on his daughter because of her race. What the school district is saying this morning. And we all know Austin's great, right? Well, a lot of people know that apparently, and they're all moving here, where Austin lands on the list of the top cities in America. Beautiful live picture as we begin this Wednesday morning. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us for KVUE News Daybreak at 4:30. I'm Brian Mays. Let's begin with a look at what we're tracking, and Erica gave me a hint just moments ago. It's going to be a nice one today, you say, Erica.
It really is. We're talking lots of sunshine, almost a picture-perfect day. Gorgeous start to the morning. Also, humidity levels are lower. We're in the mid to lower 60s across the viewing area, and temperatures are near 70 right now, 73 for Camp Mabry, also ABIA 69 degrees. Here's how today's going to play out. Mostly clear skies, lots of sun out there. That's going to allow our highs to be in the lower 90s this afternoon. 92 degrees is our forecasted high for this afternoon. So again, keep in mind a little toasty, but average for this time of the year. We're slowly easing into the summer-like conditions. But for the most part, Brian, today is going to be gorgeous. Back to you.
Looking forward to that, Erica. Thank you. Top national security officials testifying today in preparation for the highly anticipated James Comey hearing tomorrow. Sources say the pending testimonies opened up a rift between the president and Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Sessions now offering to resign. ABC's Lana Zach has more on what Comey is expected to say and not say about the president.
When fired FBI Director James Comey testifies before the Senate on Thursday,
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
A source close to Comey tells ABC News he intends to directly contradict the president on this claim, made repeatedly, including in an interview with NBC News.
I said, if it's possible, will you let me know? Am I under investigation? He said, you are not under investigation.
But on the more troubling question of obstruction of justice in the Flynn investigation, Comey is expected to offer no judgment.
The real-world implications of this, although great for scoring points for the Democrats, are really not that high in terms of actual effect on the administration.
The testimony is highly anticipated for both Democrats and Republicans.
I think that Comey being here in public is something that's very important to the country.
But inside the White House, the president is blaming Attorney General Jeff Sessions' decision to recuse himself on Russia for many of their current problems. Sources tell ABC News the situation has gotten so tense that Sessions has offered to resign. Press Secretary Sean Spicer even refusing to say if the president still has confidence in Sessions.
I have not had a discussion with them.
The president did offer up another public message.
What message do you have to Jim Comey ahead of his testimony?
I wish him luck.
And we can report on one other revelation that is likely to be questioned. James Comey reportedly told the Attorney General he no longer wanted to be left alone with the president following the meeting in which he felt pressured to drop the investigation into Michael Flynn. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Texas lawmakers headed back to Austin next month for a special session. Governor Greg Abbott made the announcement yesterday. Says he wants lawmakers to discuss 20 different items during the session, including abortion legislation, education savings accounts, and school finance reform. He also came down on lawmakers for failing to pass a sunset bill allowing the Texas Medical Board to continue operating. And he wants lawmakers to pass a bill related to one of the most controversial topics of the session, the so-called bathroom privacy, which targets what bathroom transgender children can use in schools.
At a minimum, we need a law that protects the privacy of our children in our public schools.
There is not a problem with privacy and safety in restrooms. This is 100% a political issue, and the only reason for this existence is to target, demonize, and stigmatize transgender people.
Abbott also wants lawmakers to pass property tax reform. Senate Bill 2 would make it harder for cities and counties to raise property taxes without calling for an election. The special session starts July 18th. Texting while driving will soon be illegal across Texas. Governor Greg Abbott signed the bill into law yesterday. Texting will now be punishable by a fine of up to $99 for first-time offenders, $200 for repeat offenders. The law says you can't read, write, or send an electronic message unless the vehicle is stopped. You can still use map programs. The bill will take effect September 1st. French leaders expected to meet today to discuss new counterterrorism measures after an attack at Notre Dame yesterday. Dozens of tourists started running for cover as shots rang out in front of the cathedral there. Authorities say a man ran at 3 police officers, hitting one with a hammer, shouting, "This is for Syria." Another officer then shot the attacker in the leg. He's in the hospital this morning.
We heard the 2 gunshots, and then at that point, my wife and I, we kind of grabbed each other and ran to the corner, and then we turned back around. That's when we saw the police officers pointing their guns at a guy on the ground, and he had blood coming out from his leg.
Now, inside the cathedral, this video is there. People were told to put their hands over their heads as police officers checked each pew. In case another attacker was inside the church there, 2 hours before those tourists were allowed to leave. There have been more arrests related to the London Bridge attack over the weekend. Police arrested a 30-year-old man in London yesterday, searching his home now. He and another man in custody this morning on suspicion of violating the Terrorism Act. They've not been identified or charged. 12 others had been arrested, have been released now without facing charges. And now Scotland Yard says they plan to reevaluate their strategy after finding out the mastermind of Saturday's attack had been on the radar of investigators for years. Police shot and killed all 3 attackers Saturday after they went on that rampage, killing 7 and hurting 50 others. Convicted child sex offender Greg Kelly closer to home this morning, and his supporters hope this means he's one step closer to being set free. Yesterday, authorities moved Kelly from Huntsville to the Williamson County Jail, where he'll remain until at least August. That's to prepare for a hearing in an effort to get his conviction overturned. Kelly was found guilty in 2014 of sexually assaulting a 4-year-old boy, but his case has been reopened, and investigators are looking at another suspect. Yesterday, Kelly was allowed to meet with supporters and family members as he arrived at jail.
They obviously are very emotional. We just got to see Greg and get a hug, and it was an incredible experience.
The Texas Rangers are now investigating Jonathan McCarty. He has not been charged, but is already in the Williamson County Jail on drug charges. Compared to an animal and referred to as a slave, that's what a young girl says she had to endure at her middle school. Georgetown ISD responding to the reports of race-related bullying. KVUE's Michael Perchik heard from both sides.
It hurts.
3 separate incidents.
It hurts bad.
Each with a similar theme.
When Rob let us know what happened, we felt like as a community we had to get behind him.
Drawing widespread condemnation and a call for action. Jaquita Wilson Kirby is speaking on behalf of her friend Rob Renko. A father of a Tippett Middle School student says his daughter has been targeted with racial insults, claims compiled in a report released by the school. In a 3-page filing, Renko's daughter claims that a student pulled up a picture of an ape, showed it to her, and said, quote, "This is what you look like." In another allegation, the same student who made the ape remarks reportedly followed Renko's daughter around the tennis court with a long piece of trash, pretended to whip her, and said words to the effect of, quote, "You're my slave now."
I think people don't understand the trauma.
Renko called for a change in leadership at the school, while Wilson encouraged the district to hire more minorities and enhance their conflict resolution practices.
I think there's ways for us to make this a positive situation, to use this as a chance to teach our children how to talk to one another in ways we weren't taught to.
In a statement to KVUE, the Renko family writes in part, quote, "My hope is that more good people will speak up when they see bullies and racists harassing people of any age." Michael Perchik, KVUE Daybreak.
Renko's daughter will attend a new school district next year. In a statement, Georgetown ISD called the incidents inappropriate and unacceptable. They say the students involved were disciplined according to the Student Code of Conduct. For both the Renko family and the district's full response, you can log on to this story at KVUE.com. 4:39 now. The Austin Police Department expects to be fully staffed by the start of next year. Our partners over at the Austin American-Statesman say there are currently 144 openings at APD. The assistant chief saying the department's been aggressively recruiting, which has led to a surge in incoming cadets. The next class of cadets scheduled to graduate later this month with 73 new officers. Another class just began with 109 cadets. It is time now for another check of our forecast. What's going to be a nice, sunny, warm day. I guess more like hot day, right, Eric?
Not too uncomfortably hot, though. Temperatures are still going to be near average, but they are in the 90s, so it'll be toasty out there. Lots of sun to enjoy the outdoors, though. And also, not a bad start to our Wednesday morning. Near 70 for a lot of folks, 73 right now in Austin. A couple degrees cooler than that as we head to the eastern and also hill country counties. Mason's the coolest at 63 degrees. Here's how today's going to play out hour by hour. We'll still have a north wind, so it'll be a drier air mass in place. Not too uncomfortably humid either, so rather comfortable when highs will be in the lower 90s today. Your rush hour forecast, you're in the clear 70s to start the day for your morning rush hour, your afternoon rush hour in the 90s. So the big question is it a good day to wash your car? The answer is yes. Take a look at your car wash forecast. We're going to have at least 7 days straight of sunshine. Brian, probably a good day to mow your lawn also.
Well, I washed the truck yesterday, so I guess today, yeah, get out the lawnmower.
You get 8 days then.
Okay. Thanks, Erica. Well, it is official. You know, everyone wants to move to our city. That's according to a new study by Business Insider. Austin's been named the #1 city where everyone wants to live right now. The study looked at migration data, search traffic on Realtor.com, and the estimated population growth rate from 2015 to this year. Jacksonville, Florida came in second on the list. Nashville and Charlotte, North Carolina round out the top 5. So there's a reason it's getting crowded around here. Still ahead, it seems like everyone's always glued to their cell phones. That one restaurant's trying to convince people to keep their phones away while enjoying their meal. Plus, a mother pleading with other families to learn from her tragedy what she wants Texas lawmakers to consider. Coming up.